Yeah, here we go!
You bring American money?
Voch is actually like one of the most entertaining people I watch.
That's a fact.
Beats Planet.
Well, come on inside and get yourself something cool to drink.
And they said, Voch, it's hot outside. Why you wearing them hoodies? Not in my motherfucking house.
Hey, Voch.
Boy, the air conditioner in my house blow real good. Boy, I got an upstairs air and a downstairs air. And both of them bitches blow cold as hell, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget one time I was in school. I cussed in class, but I didn't get in trouble because it was smart as hell. You know, what's talking about oxymorons or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Here's a note for any young people in school. If teacher going over oxymorons and they ask you what an oxymoron is, you can say it's cold as hell in here and you not get in trouble. Because technically, y'all doing all right? What the business is? Y'all straight? Y'all doing good? Everybody all right? Come on in. Y'all need hugs if you need them. We got them at the door. Handshakes for those of you, you know what I mean? Fist bump for the rest of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Fist bump. You know what I'm saying? Fist bumps for the rest of y'all, you feel me? Hey man, listen, brother. Listen. I haven't been live in a second. And I look, I won't just open every live stream with I haven't been live in a second, but y'all gotta understand. Shouts out to KDBs, by the way, man. You know what I'm saying? I was just you know what I mean? You know, all right hasn't gotten old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just the it's the official wait music of, you know what I mean? It hasn't gotten old. You know what I mean? Shouts out to my guy KDBs. I actually saw him in the chat. Tap in with him if y'all rap or something. You know what I mean? Tap in if y'all need music to do research papers too. Whatever you need. Shouts out to my guy KD Beats. But I know I say every episode, you know, that I say every episode that, you know, I ain't been streaming as much. Well, you know, I do kind of live by the Koye rule, you know what I'm saying? That if I don't have nothing to say to y'all, I'm not gonna just hop in and just say anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna just pop up and just talk about nothing. Then Brian Bras entered the picture. Hey! And me and him come up with something to talk about every night. But when it's two people, we get back and forth when it's, you know, two people. But just live stream format, turn my volume down a little bit. But just in live stream format in general, haven't been going live as much because, you know, it ain't much you know, compelling topic work that I can hit y'all with. If there's an interesting conversation, I could have it with Brian, and we drop those every night. You know, it's funny. We doing all right damn near every night. People like, yo, Voch, where you been? I'm here. What you mean? What you talking about? I'm here. You know what I mean? But y'all know when we do the lives, like I'm trying to get something across to you, and we bring entertainment to the party. So I appreciate y'all for being here live. But I say all that to say, y'all know that when it cranks up, it cranks up. It cranks all the way up. And what happens here is, you know, and is, you know, just because the Cowboys off don't necessarily mean that we off. And we don't get breaks in the regular or the off season, right? So I may take a week off, maybe next week. Definitely next week. I'm taking a week off from the doing all right, and Bleach Report hit us and say, yo, look, we're gonna chill till August. But boy, once camp gets here, it does not stop. Once camp gets here, it's gonna take us all the way till this point next year. So y'all, you know, stay tapped in, be ready, be on your P's and Q's and all that. One more thing before we get going, I'll be in Oxnard the 21st through the 29th. Y'all be sure to tap in with me if you're around, if you want to walk up and say hello. If you don't fool with me, stop watching my stream.
Did you hear what I said?
But you know, walk up, say hello. You know what I mean? I'll address you back accordingly. I'm saying, you know, whatever you. I've been doing handshakes my whole life. So no matter what handshake you want to hit me with, you know what I'm saying. No matter what. How we do this, I'll be prepped to deal with you. You know what I mean? And I will thank you accordingly. So I'll be in Oxnard doing that. We got merch coming. Ooh, shit, chat. We got merch coming. Shouts out to Marcus Harris, and he's seen some of the merch that I got rolling out. We'll be doing that soon. Prepping for the big Hundun. Prepping for the big Hundun stream. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for futurely being around that one as well. We are incredibly close. We are incredibly close, you know what I mean? And it ain't like I could take 100 and take a day off. We're going to be right in the midst of the work when the 100 gets here, you know what I mean? One last thing. I don't think I get a whole bunch out of talking about Cavonte Turpin getting pulled over and arrested. I don't think I want to make a sensational headline out of that necessarily. Maybe as a young streamer. You know, back in my old streaming, I'm probably one of the youngest streamers. I'm younger than, you know, Lord Koye and all them, you know what I'm saying? Boss, Amp, Landlord. I'm younger than all, you know. Foots, Henry, Sky. I'm young, Mark. I'm younger than all of them. But as a if you'd have caught me streaming a couple years ago, I probably would have done the breaking news and talked about Turpin getting pulled over and arrested. But man, I'm 33 now. You know what I'm saying? I'm 33 now, and I don't really feel the need like I gotta turn that into breaking news for real. I don't feel like y'all need my opinion on Cavonte Turpin being gun under the seat guy. Like you know what I mean? Y'all don't need me to come in and talk about that. Look, I won't lie. I've been seeing some of the commentary surrounding it. I will talk about this. I've seen some of the commentary surrounding it or whatever. Shouts out to my guy Mauricio with Sky Old Company. But I still do rock with Mauricio, right? Shouts out to my boy. He was on the Twitter machine. Like him and Foots had a little quote thing and another thing, and Foots was like, Mauricio was like, yeah, man, driving 97 miles an hour, he got to do better. Wait a minute, time out. I gotta find the tweet. Oh, it's so perfect. I gotta find the tweet to hit y'all with what the hell he said. Cause I was like, I don't know, Mo. I don't know. He said, okay, this is what he said. He said, look, y'all, he said, driving in the car with the weed and the gun is one thing. But going 97 miles an hour is just ridiculous. And I read that and I was like, yeah. You probably shouldn't go 97 with weed in the car. But this Texas. Hey. My truck got a little knob on it, right? And I can change that knob in my F-150. Like if it's slippery, if I'm trying to cut down on gas, you know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to climb a mountain or some shit, my truck got sport mode, right? So it just excels a little quicker. I've gone 97 on accident before. I've gone 97 with a gun in the car. But wasn't no weed in there. I just find it interesting that certain people are finger pointing worst parts of it. Some people can't believe there was a gun in the car. I can. Some people can't believe there was weed in the car. Some of y'all don't care about weed in the car. And I saw Mauricio today. How dare Turpin go 97? Like, boy, I've seen them, especially moving here in DFW. I've seen them in Houston, but boy, I hadn't seen some cars go 97 or higher in the DFW. The problem is you can't do it all. The problem is you can't do it all, and you can't do it all as Cavonte Turpin. Now, I ain't saying that Turp got to hire a driver or anything like that. He can afford it, but I don't want to tell people how to spend their money or whatnot, but Shedeur Sanders can drive 97. And if nothing's in the car, it's a nothing story. Hey man, Shedeur got a speeding ticket or whatever. But you can't go 97 with weed in the car in Texas. A gun in the car in Texas, you might be fine, but weed in the car in Texas, maybe not. But that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say about the Turpin thing. I chose to take my lunch break now, so I'm here for a minute. Hey, Voch. Wait, you say hey, Voch, so that means
Hey, Voch.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Ace, all three is crazy. Like you could pull off 2 of the 3. Like you can have a gun and weed in the car, but if you're going 60, you fine. I see people drive high all the time. You know what I mean? Or they drive fast with a gun. You know what I mean? You can have a gun in the car in Texas, but all 3? Come on, Turpin. You can't be doing all 3. But I'm not here to talk about Turpin. I don't really think this has I don't think it's that crazy of a thing. Like in Turpin's personal life, it may mean a thing. Sam was going faster than that, wasn't it? How fast was Sam going? You know what I mean? Sam, you know what I mean? But drive safe, y'all. We don't want to hurt nobody. We don't want to, we don't want to drink and drive, be high and driving fast. We don't want to hurt nobody and drive recklessly and carelessly. Things happen, but young people slow down. I understand Turpin just got that money. Turpin was making $38 off that damn UFL contract. He was making $38 as a 26-year-old rookie. So Turpin get a little bit of money. He probably bought bought a car that go a little faster. I ain't here to talk about it necessarily, but that was a thought I had. What I am here to talk about is Turp talk fast, run fast, drive. Hey, bro, chill out. I smoke weed. When I smoke weed, Dallas police didn't bother me. Had a whole zip. Yeah, you probably wasn't driving 90 neither. You was probably minding your business. And they said, hey, look, just chill out and go home. They probably just whatever. I hadn't really given my take on this story that was written by Garrett Podell from CBS Sports. And apparently Garrett Podell know me. Shouts out to Garrett Podell. The Duke Manyweather story. You know what I mean? The Duke Manyweather story came out, and it's it's been circulated amongst the Cowboys content community or whatever. And I may have touched on it a little bit when I was talking to Brian Broadus, and I may have touched on it a little bit more when I was talking to Footsie King. But I got to say the good, you know what I mean? For the
salute.
I got to say the best of the best for the live. You know what I'm saying? Duke Manyweather, in my personal opinion, is the de facto Dallas Cowboys offensive line coach. That's how I feel. I know Duke Manyweather wants to keep all of his business opportunities open. I know that Duke Manyweather isn't loyal to just one organization. That rent due, you know what I'm saying? Duke can't just like Duke finna get all this money, you understand? But it was interesting to kind of hear Duke talk, because he did talk a little bit on 105.3. To kind of read the text and the print of Duke Manyweather quotes and some of the things that he was saying. Duke give you a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all some pausing as cheering in this goddamn chat. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of meat on the bone, whatever. There's a lot of meat on the bone when Duke is speaking. I feel like Duke don't give long answers. He's very stoic. He's very direct. I don't feel like Duke is very rambly neither. Like, he ain't just vomit mouthing out there. But everything that Duke every word that he gives you is important. And it means something. Even if it's a long, drawn out sentence, it kind of means something. I walked into the Duke Manyweather thing, and in real life, he just talked about his players. Somehow, I walked out of this thing going, damn, Mike Solari terrible. That's kind of what I walked out of this thing kind of thinking a little bit, you know what I mean? And, that's the thing about offensive line, right? Like, you don't really know we terrible until like it's a catastrophe. Like, it takes terror threat level orange, you know what I mean? DEFCON 1 for us to understand that offensive line coaching is terrible, right? If you got 5 Chaz Greens, the first place you're going to look at is your O-line coach. I remember, and I did say this on Footsie's show. Shouts out to Foots. I believe I just he right there on Footsie's show. Y'all remember Paul Alexander was the O-line coach here? And all of a sudden, 2 Hall of Famers and 2 Pro Bowlers was all looking terrible at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Paul Alexander got him from the Bengals. Pardon me if I forget who was the O-line coach prior to that. But Paul Alexander was the guy. He tried to implement some new technique, and your choice of what you teach these players, they execute basically what you teach them or whatever. Pardon me, y'all. I got to do something for y'all real fast because look. Big A on the phone already. Big A got the number saved. Big A got the number saved in his phone. My bad, y'all. Y'all call into the show, 202-926-1127. It's on the screen. But we knew treachery was afoot with Paul Alexander was the coach, because everybody looks terrible at the same time. And when everybody looked terrible at the same time, that at least lets me know, all right, it's not just Tyron Smith having a bad year. You trash. Then Colombo comes in and he kind of, tweaks the culture just a little bit. And look, basically, Mark Colombo got paid a whole bunch of money to do what Voch would have done if Voch was the offensive line coach. This is what Voch would have done. I would have walked up to Hall of Fame Tyron Smith and Zach Martin and went, "Hey man, what do you normally do on these catch and throw pass sets, on these quick? What do you normally do, Hall of Famer?" Tyron would have said something like, "Man, I like to grab motherfuckers by their throat and choke them and kind of keep my inside hand free." I'd have been like, "Bet." Hey, Zach, Hall of Fame, Zach. At that time, he was probably in the league 5 years, like 5-time Pro Bowl, some stupid number. Zach, hey man, when you how do you deal with bull rushes? Zach could probably say something like, "Well, I keep my inside hand in the inside frame and my outside hand on the hip or something, and I just bend my knees and give ground slowly." Me as the O-line coach, I'd have looked at Zach Martin and said, "Bet." That's probably what Paul Alexander should have done. That's why I don't like these old coaches, these old men coaches. These old men coaches are stuck in their ways, you know what I'm saying? And maybe they don't bend and fold to what's better for a player or what a like a new advantage could bring. Basically, what happened with Mike Solari, we watched Tyler Guyton, who was a rookie, had a bad year. Tyler Smith, by his standards, bad year. Cooper Beebe, who's a rookie, had a cool little year. I mean, he about to go crazy. Zach Martin, in which he was hurt, but this was one of Zach Martin's worst years. And Terrence Steele ain't been right since 2023. If all 5 of my offensive linemen look weird, it's your fault. Man, it could have been Tyler Biadasz, bro. Like, Tyler, what you do with If Tyler would have looked at me and said, "Well, I don't know, coach, can you give me a tip on how to deal with bull rush?" I'd have looked at Zach. Zach, can you tell Tyler how to, it's ways to do this and keep this simple and acquiesce to what the young players got to say. Marcus Harrison, ain't that the word, acquiesce? When you ain't really trying to, go against what you trying to do for real. When you want to do something, but something else is for the better good, but you agree to it because it's probably, ain't that what acquiesce mean? That's probably a long-winded definition. Ain't that what acquiesce mean? Write this down. This would be on the test. If I had to guess, you settle. Thank you. I could have just said settle. Shit, I said a lot of words that could have just said, sure. Write this down. If you, Brian Schottenheimer, Connor Riley, Coach Whitecotton, hey man, Micah know what he doing. Dak know what he doing. CD know what he doing. Pickens know what he doing. Tyler Smith know what he doing. BB at least strong as hell. Duke Manyweather know what he doing.
Did you hear what I said?
Offer some help. Cut the fat. Stay out the way. I think that's the best thing you could possibly do. As a offensive line coach, position coach, offense coordinator, head coach, have some ideas, cut the fat, and you can coach the young boys because they don't really have a way. Like a Johnny Cornelius don't have a way in this world right now. You know what I'm saying? But just kind of sit back and let that fly. Duke Manyweather said this. Let me see how I can put this on the screen for y'all. Let me see. Boom. Boom. Can I put this on the screen for y'all? Let me see. Bam. Okay, that's a fail. Okay, that ain't work. All right, cool. Let me try this. Boom. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. Okay, let me come up here. Boom. 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 Okay, that ain't gonna work neither. I probably should have did this before I went live. Okay, here we go. How about this? I got something for you. How about this, chat? Y'all ready? Watch this. Just go to this. Take me out of this. Okay. Then put this over here. Okay. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Because I think this quote is very important. Don't go nowhere. And let's see. Chat, I'm terrible. But I really want y'all to see this quote real fast, though. Let me see something. I really want y'all to see this quote from Duke. And it made sense to me. Let's go window capture. Let's see. All right, it ain't working so cool. But Duke basically said, since I've been in Dallas, late 2014, early 2015, they've had 7 or 8 offensive line coaches. Duke said this. They've had 7 or 8 offensive line coaches to a level I've been, and not to toot my own horn. Duke Manyweather even saying toot my own horn is crazy because he's stoic as hell. He wouldn't even say nothing like toot my own horn. Not to toot my own horn, but like for many of these guys, I've been the beacon of stability for a lot of these guys for their career, including Zach Martin. A beacon of stability. Chat, I didn't know that Duke Manyweather was operating since 2014. Maybe it's just because I'm new here and, you know what I'm saying? You know, I really haven't been streaming all that long. Like, I started YouTubing in 2016. I really been Cowboy guy since like 2019, 2020 or so. But just in my mind, I didn't know that Duke had been outside that long. Also, with Duke being outside that long, I had no clue that the Cowboys went through 7 or 8 offensive line coaches in that time. I had no clue that the Cowboys went through 7 or 8 offensive line coaches at that time. Now, how many head coaches have we gone through in that time? Wade, Jason, Mike? Schottenheimer's here now, 4. But just think about how much change happens on that offensive line. Now, take this caveat with you, right? Take this with you. If you're Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, even Ronald Leary, you can withstand coach change because you're top tier, you strong as hell, you boom, boom, boom. But what happens when you a regular character? And this is where I'm starting to think about the Cowboys' success drafting offensive line. There is this reputation that we go crazy drafting offensive line. Cowboys go crazy for real in the first round. Josh Ball and them ain't shit. And it makes me wonder what happens if you're not an elite guy. Josh Ball, Connor McGovern, Tyler Biadasz. Let's go. Cam Irvin, Cam Fleming. What happens when you're not one of those elite guys and you don't have the coaching behind you? I told you I'm gonna get this damn quote. I told y'all ass. All right, here we go. I told y'all. Here we go. Since I've been in Dallas, well, I read it. Y'all can read them up. But I've been a beacon of stability. Now, I didn't walk into this thing ready to hate on all the O-line coaches. I was willing to give people benefit of the doubt. I was kind of going to chill. I wasn't going to really hate on people too bad. But it got real bad for Solari when Duke started saying this. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right one up here. It got real bad when Duke started talking about Solari and them. When Garrett Podell started saying this. He was on 105.3 The Fan. Garrett Podell said this about Duke Manyweather and the coaches that's been going through this little cycle with him because Duke been here. Here's what he say. If I can cut the volume up. It's terrible. It's
like example of yesteryear versus this year.
Here we go. Boom.
That's what it is now. Now, I can tell you like example of yesteryear versus this year. This year, yes, Duke met with Connor Riley, the new offensive line coach who came over from Kansas State and his offensive line assistants in the middle of June, and they spoke for about an hour and walked through stuff. And Duke told me now we're on the same page. They see stuff through the same kind of set of eyes. So they went over, here's the techniques, here's what we want to have certain guys work on. So they're in line with that. Now,
Chat, y'all know when I go over clips, I like to ask questions, right? I like to ask questions. We just talked about earlier. Acquiesce, right? Gary Podell just said about Duke Manyweather, about Connor Riley, right? He said, hey, man, we sat down. We talked for an hour. We were on the same page. We saw everything through the same eyes. Actually, since I'm able to get these clips up, boom. After about an hour of talking, this is exactly what he said. But Duke Manyweather said this quote in particular. Hey, I don't want your job, but allow me to continue to progress these guys as much as possible when you guys can't. Now, chat, the question I have for you, not named Connor Riley, right, but just previous O-line coaches. My question for y'all, chat, and you can feel free to answer. I'm looking at the chat right now. What coach would possibly have a problem with Duke Manyweather offering his help? What coach would possibly have? Because Duke ain't say this for no reason, man. Duke's very measured with his words. Duke say a lot of words, but they all measured. Why would he say this? Hey, I don't want your job. And look, Duke know he can take that motherfucker. Duke know he could take that motherfucker. He could take that offensive line job if he want to. The Myron meme, you know what I'm saying? If Duke want to come out here and coach some Cowboy football, hey, Myron, Duke can get some money from us. Duke said specifically, hey, bro, I don't want to take your job, but allow me to continue to progress these guys as much as possible when you can't. That seemed like some sensical, logical shit. I want to know what coach talked to Duke Manyweather, seen his body of work, and went, I'm straight. A pompous coach, insecure coach. I can't stand YouTube. The stream keep glitching. Hit refresh. A coach that's not cutting it. Somebody that's 90 and they rent dude, motherfucker. Like, I just wonder, like, do other position groups go through this? Like, did Sanjay Law not like the private wide receiver coaches? And look, there's a D-line coach that's always doing some work with these guys. He tapped in with Law Nation and Jazz and them. They always talk about him, but he's like the Duke Manyweather for like D-line, right? I'm sure D-line coaches don't talk to him, or they don't look at what he does and be like, hey man, what you doing is da-da-da. What you doing is boom, boom, boom. Why does Duke Manyweather have to say, I don't want your job, allow me to continue? I bet you somebody felt the way about Duke Manyweather being great and fantastic. And I ain't saying that monkey wrenches are purposely thrown, because you know people do want their jobs. I'm not saying that monkey wrenches were thrown on purpose or anything like that. I just don't think it's a coincidence that all 5 of your offensive linemen, I understand we got 2 of them rookies, but for the sake of me hating on Solari, I'm gonna say all 5. It's not a coincidence that all 5 of your offensive linemen looked weird last year. All 5 of them. I don't think Mike Solari's that incompetent. And if he is, then Mike McCarthy is the new villain. You may have 4 guys doing well, and one of your offensive linemen may be having an off year, but all 5 of your guys having a problem? I don't know, big dog. What's the O-line equivalent to running the field and turning around? Mike Solari made them kids do that. What's the equivalent? I ain't saying people losing on purpose, but damn, I got questions, bro. Let's get back to Gary Podell from CBS Sports, who wrote the article on Duke Manyweather and the offensive lineman, just to keep hearing his reaction. He's on 105.3 The Fan.
So they went over, here's the techniques, here's what we want to have certain guys work on. So they're in line with that. Now, when
and look, keeping it a buck with you, if they could hire me as the O-line coach tomorrow, if Duke Manyweather in that coaching, I'm gonna be sitting there. Fuster King gonna text me. Look, Fuster gonna text me and shit. Damn, Voch boy, Duke Manyweather sure doing a good job with them offensive linemen. Boy, I'm acting like I don't even see Fuster. I'm like, shit. I'm acting like I don't see him. You kidding me? In Duke's track record, he made Jeremy Parnell an NFL football player. Tyler Biotis, an NFL football player. Okoye can call me right now. FaceTime me, boy. Hey, yo, Voch, Duke Manyweather might be taking your job. I'm like, shit. hey. I'm putting that phone. I'm putting that away. I'm putting the phone away. That don't bother me because, look, this the problem. Pride is the devil. Pride is the devil. Because if Mike Solari would have embraced Duke Manyweather and just sat back and shut his mouth and the O-line looked good for a year, Mike Solari would probably still be here as the O-line coach. Well, you know, Mike got fired.
It's false. No way.
Mike McCarthy did.
We created it.
Look,
not this time. No, not this time.
Look, it ain't like we would have kept, it ain't like we would have fired everybody but kept Solari. You know what I mean? But Solari might be in Jacksonville somewhere with new life because he leaned on Duke Manyweather for real. I'm just curious, man. Why would he say that? Let's keep listening to Gary Podell on 105.3 The Fan talking about Duke Manyweather.
Mike Solari, who was the last offensive line coach under Mike.
What'd you say? My bad. Hey, look, I didn't know he was gonna say Mike Solari name. I didn't know he was gonna say Mike Solari. Yo, my chat. I didn't know he was gonna say Solari name, y'all. My bad. Here we go. But what you say, Garrett?
Mike Solari, who was the last offensive line coach under Mike McCarthy, I asked Duke if he would call this a philosophical agreement. He called it simply kind of a cookie cutter technique teaching. But basically, he said Mike Solari would coach Terrence Steele to just use your length and body and size to kind of win against other defensive linemen. And he didn't really put a whole lot of stock into being detailed with the handwork. At least that was what he was coaching Terrence. Versus Duke was telling Terrence, if you have a plan with your hands, here's where you put them when they're rushing you inside, outside. That can really give you a step up. And that's something Duke and Connor Riley spoke about. And they're on the same page as really kind of getting that handwork being a major focus for Terrence Steele going forward, and Duke thinks that's going to be to Steele's and the Cowboys' benefit going forward.
I know y'all sick of that war call, boy, but I got to hit it one more time, boy. I just got to hit that one more time. Voch did say that. And look, this is the problem. I'm not going to be so arrogant to be like, hey, they should be hiring me to be the O-line coach. Even though the rent doing it would be nice. But my problem is a YouTuber can identify the issue here. If a YouTuber can identify the issue here, then you should be able to. Terrence Steele ain't big and strong. He's got some of the same issues that Tyler Guyton's got. Never sick of the war call, but my girl hated. Man, I hate that. That's that. My bad. She an Eagle fan? Oh well. I hate this motherfucker all day. If you're Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton for that matter, you don't have the luxury to not be perfect with your hands. You don't have that luxury, man. Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, certain guys like that, they strong as hell. So they hands can be in the wrong spot and they'll still drive you to oblivion because they strong. What'd he say Solari said to do? Solari looked Terrence Steele in the face and said, what'd he say?
Simply kind of a cookie cutter technique teaching. But basically, he said Mike Solari would coach Terrence Steele to just use your length and body and size to kind of win against other defensive linemen. And he didn't really put a whole lot of stock into being detailed with the handwork, at least that.
Body and size. Telling Terrence Steele, let me look. Let me see how much Terrence Steele weigh. Hold on, let me see something. Let me see how much Terrence. Let me see something real fast. Let me put the glasses on my. Hold on. Now Terrence only got one R in his name. Terrence. Well, I guess a lot of people only got one R in they Terrence. Okay. Steele. How much Terrence Steele weigh? Terrence Steele 6'6", 310 pounds. You could, if you 310 pounds and you not the strongest character in the world, he does have long arms, 35 and a fourth. But I'm not here for all that analytics and all that shit. I ain't here for all the analytics and shit. You know what I mean? I ain't here for all that. You know what I'm saying? All that. You know, length is cool, but length needs to be compounded with other traits. You know, when Conor McGregor knocked out Eddie Alvarez, he said, "Look, man, you can't just be a tough guy. You know what I mean? You got to have some attributes, man. You got to have, you know what I mean?" Terrence Steele being 310 pounds and not strong as hell is not enough to just wall people off and not use your hands properly. That is the goofiest shit I feel like I've heard. And you know what? I feel like I saw that. I just didn't have confirmation for it. I feel like I saw that. I just didn't have confirmation for it. Why would you not hyper focus on Terrence Steele and his hand placement? That's probably why, you know, Tyler Guyton didn't have great hand placement either, because I guess they just didn't hyper focus on it. And if you read this article, it's a fantastic article. And if you read this article, it'll even tell you, like, Cooper Beebe didn't really get training in season. So what was Solari doing? What was Solari doing? Anyway, here's Garrett Podell, that apparently he knows me and I didn't know he knew me. Garrett Podell was talking about Duke Manyweather on Tyler Guyton. Let me just hear what they talking about. We'll just come back and react to that.
Yeah, I brought that up with Duke, and he thought that was really funny because Duke himself, he did tweet, you know, it's all up to Tyler Guyton to see how he's going to be. And so a lot of people took that as, you know, Duke saying Tyler doesn't have what it takes. But Duke was kind of saying that is kind of meaning Guyton is approaching it with the kind of mindset and aggressive determination that he needs to kind of take the next step up, because Duke kind of described to me there's a few levels of guys in their development that he's worked with. There's the obsessives who eat, sleep, breathe about it. They're texting him, hey, give me a film clip. Let's work on this, that, the other. There's the people who just do what you tell them to do. And then there's the bare minimum guys. So he,
off the rip, I would love to know who was Tyler Guyton last year. And, you know, we'll never know this answer because, you know, these guys are going to protect each other for the most part. And they're not going to, you know, they're not going to get into Duke's not going to come out and flat out say, well, yeah, you know, Tyler Guyton was a lazy character and I had to blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They're not going to come out and out their guys for real. They're not going to out their guys for real. I would love to know what kind of guy was Tyler Guyton last year. I can make an assumption on the kind of guy that Tyler Guyton is this year, because you know we've been listening to the quotables and the interviews and all that. I got a good feel about that. We've heard numerous people say that Tyler Smith is a hard worker. I'm confident Tyler Booker's a hard worker. I would say BB is a hard. I just haven't heard anybody talk about it. But I know for sure that people have, called Terrence Steele a hard worker, right? I would love to know Tyler Guyton last year. Was he look, I'm gonna just go to practice, go home and just act like Voch and go YouTube somewhere and play the video game? I would love to know where Tyler Guyton was with that last year. Let's get back to Garrett Podell.
About it, they're texting him, hey, give me a film clip. Let's work on this, that, the other. There's the people who just do what you tell them to do, and then there's the bare minimum guys. So he kind of challenged Tyler Guyton to say, which one of those are you going to be? And, Zach, I know you were out at Cowboys mini camp OTAs, and when we spoke to Tyler about his diet and kind of cleaning up some of the things he's working on, that Guyton, at least for now, it seems like he's trending toward being on the obsessive side with it. And when I spoke one-on-one with Guyton at his locker at the end of...
And Guyton being a guy who's not the strongest in the world, doesn't have all the tools and the nuance and the technique, him being that guy, being obsessive guy, that's a humongous plus for us. That's a humongous plus for us because he'll never be as strong as Smith, Booker, Beebe. He's not one of those guys. He's always going to have the best feet on the line. He's always going to be, the best movement guy. But if he can be super technique guy with that movement, Guyton might be on to something. Next year, after that, I don't know. We'll see.
With it. And when I spoke one-on-one with Guyton at his locker at the end of mandatory minicamp, I said, so what are you doing with Duke? And he said, really, it's my posture, the stance, start and finish, kind of bowing his back and make sure he has more balance. Because a lot of the issues, he had 14 penalties last year, which is tied for the second most in the NFL. A lot of that he kind of attributed to not being comfortable and feeling like he just wasn't balanced and out of position. But he feels like the work he's doing now with Duke in the summer is really helping him improve that. And Duke himself reiterated that to me, saying he's being able to maintain his posture underneath kind of the load that he carries at 6'7", 322 on that side. That's really kind of what they've been focusing on.
I thought he said Duke was regenerate. I didn't know what he said about Duke. I didn't know what the hell was. I didn't know what the quote was. He said Duke was generate. What did you say? I don't know. But hey, that's fantastic news that Tyler Guyton is an obsessed, hard working type character now. He needs that. And I'll be at Oxnard. And look, I just want to let y'all know, this will be my first time as like a media type, to where I'll have I'll be on the field and stuff like that at Oxnard. I'm going to be aware. Listen, man, Spider-Man put on his suit and his web slingers, and he had to understand his power for the greater good. I'll put my glasses on. He had to understand his power and not abuse his power and the greater good of people in this world. And he had to, he had to understand his position. You know what I mean? I feel like when a meteor is flying towards Earth, like the Justice League all look at Superman. Like, what's Batman gonna do about the meteor? You know what I mean? Like, what's Aquaman gonna do about this meteor that's flying towards Earth? Like, all Aquaman could do is call like 1,000 whales to jump and just smack the meteor out the water or something. Like, that's all they could do. But like when the meteor comes down, Superman got to take responsibility and be like, "Hey, man, I'm Superman. I got to deal with the meteor." You know what I mean? Now, when it's time to go out and fight bad guys, fight human civilians, hey, Batman, go whoop them, right? I say all that to say, there's going to be 1,000 angles of every George Pickens play that gets played. We're going to be at Oxnard. George Pickens going to make a big tumbling catch. It's going to be 12 to 15 angles of that. Voch going to be with the offensive line.
Did you hear what I said?
And I may be the only one over there because I understand my responsibilities. I understand my responsibilities. Okay? You don't want a miscellaneous character covering the offensive line. I got you. It's my responsibility to cover the offensive line. So while they over there watching Joe Milton throw incomplete passes, I'm breaking down a Johnny Cornelius. You hear me? Because who else is going to do it? Because who else is going to do it? Speaking of people doing the job that can't nobody else do.
There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frankel and Frankel. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frankel first.
Nobody can get the job done like the Frankels. 214-333-3333. If you've been in an accident, hit by a negligent driver or a big truck, please do not call nobody. Call the Frankels first, and then they'll tell you who to call in that order. The insurance companies will scam you. The Frankels will love on you. If you call them, you will not get AI or some weird call center. You're going to talk to a Frankel, and they're going to care about your case, and they will not get paid until you get paid. If you want some testimonies, you can go on frankelfirm.com, scroll down, and go over there and look at all the money that they've won people in these in these cases, man. Shouts out to the Frankels, you heard? 214-333-3333. Let's get some calls and get up out of here, because I got to go work out again, because I got goals. Let's get LA on the phone. What up, LA?
Brother Voch, man, it's good to hear from you, man.
What's good with you, brother?
Or to make it through, man. Nah, getting ready for this training camp, man. Ready for y'all to pop out to my side so that we can politic on this Cowboy stuff and make sure that these guys gonna do right by us and everything. Yeah. I'm glad you're gonna be covering the O-line, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, man. Y'all gonna have to. What is it? The Rusty Rudder.
The rudder room.
The
rudder.
Rudder.
Yeah, rudder room. The rudder room. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop up that joint with some oxtails one time, man, and I bought beers for Kavanaugh and the Clarence last year, man. So looking forward to seeing you and Foots and Sky if they make it out, man. Okay. Keep on doing a good job, bro.
Appreciate you. That's hard, bro. Appreciate it. Hey, man, what you think about this O-line stuff and all this talk about, people not doing their job, people feeling away, man? What you think about this O-line development, and how much we gonna have to lean on those guys this year?
Well, you already knew we was gonna have to lean on the O-line super tough, man. Like in my opinion, I would say like the last, really since Travis Frederick retired, man, we have not been able to control the A gap. Yeah. So what I'm seeing out of these guys and hearing out of these guys, it does sound like a lot more or just more maturity in the room than what we've already had, right? And hypothetically, if Guyton improves as well as he speaks, sure, then we're going to be in good shape moving forward. I think that the brother understands the task at hand, and he is a baby. He's a big, athletic, ginormous fucking baby. He needs way more peanut butter. Continue to get the peanut butter in there, but his intellect and his mindset seem to be the right way. And if you get superior athleticism with some intelligence and just a little bit of balls, Voch, just a little bit of balls, and I think he got some balls. So we'll see, man. I think that we're going to be in a good space moving forward. It's better than we were in the trenches the last 3 years, though. I think that BB is built like a fire hydrant. Yeah. I think Ty Smith is in the middle of the line. We're going to be strong where we needed to be. We're going to be able to run the ball in the A gap, and run ball in the B gap. But protect that up the middle. I think it's a way different season that this year just because the middle of the line in pass pro is going to be a lot more solid than what it has been. And that's just with BB and everybody just being together for a second year starting and everything. So I'm thinking we're in good shape, man. Well, better shape than people thought we were.
LA, I won't lie to you, man. What this offense was able to do the last couple of years, really, with nonsense going on at O-line, nonsense going on at play calling, the wide receiver position being up and down. We can act like, Brandon Cooks was a thing, Man, Mike McCarthy know how to use Brandon Cooks, man. Like Mike McCarthy only used Brandon Cooks like 8 games out of like 2 years, like used them well. There's no reason why this offense can't be fantastic. And they don't have to be from the best, like they don't have to be the best offense in the league. They just got to cut the nonsense. If you cut the fat,
right,
everything else will just rise naturally.
Yep. Right. And staying on schedule. You know, not having the inopportune holding penalties. Not fucking jumping off sides or false stuff. You know, the small discipline things that these jokers have not been able to do the last 4 years. I am going to jump on the Shotty bandwagon and say that culture matters and all this other good stuff, but a lot of the dudes, like they're just a little bit more seasoned, and they're not necessarily trying to live up to Hall of Fame shoes with 77 and 70. You know, they get to be they own dudes, and Shotty gets to be a guy and love on them and make them feel fucking confident and make them feel like it's there. If he can do that, which I feel like he is, he's giving people ownership over their own destiny. I think overall that's the biggest energy that's coming through with a Shotty organization wise. He's making it more realistic for these dudes to have a destiny in Dallas if they work and get better. You know.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the deal, man. I feel like it will be. Fuck the Eagles, fuck the Commandos
every time,
and that other team in New York.
Appreciate you, bro. Good call, Chad. Let me tell y'all something real fast.
God bless you, bro.
Yes, sir. Chad, let me just do something real fast. Cause sometimes you gotta hold down your supporters and your loved ones. You feel me? Sometimes you gotta hold down your supporters and your loved ones. You hear me? One of my audience members. Y'all know I don't say fan too much. One of my audience members, my homeboy Cam, right? Cam reached out to me. Cam Pitts, here we go. Let me go find his Instagram. Hold on. Cameron on Canvas. I'll be doing all the Instagram stuff at some point. I'll be doing it all. Cam on Canvas, right? My guy Cam Pitts. He reached out to me. He said, "Man, Voch, man, listen, man, I've been watching Show Dog. You know what I mean? I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I take pictures and all that. You know what I mean? Photography and all that. But I just want to take some pictures, dog. I just want to capture some pics, dog." I'm like, "Yeah, cool, bet, no doubt. Just showing love, man. Just holding it down." We decided to, because I'm goofy as hell and I think I'm Turpin or whatever. We did a John Wick photo shoot. Look, we did a John Wick photo shoot for no reason. So I just packed up a bunch of stuff that got Cavonte Turpin in trouble. You know what I mean? And dog, hold on, let me see if I can pull these joints up. Hey dog, I think we got some cool little I think we got some cool little young means going on, dog. I think we got some cool little young means going on, bro. Not Drummer Cam. No, I don't know if Drummer Cam carry weaponry like that. But dog, we did a John Wick photo shooting. Hey, sure came out. You know what I mean? I'll be posting these on my Instagram or whatever. If y'all ain't got nothing to do, go over there and check it out on Instagram. But I had to give a shout out to my guy, Cam on Canvas. Cam.on.canvas for doing a John Wick like photo shoot with me, for getting my weaponry going and just taking some, you know what I mean? Actually hard. Shouts out my, and look, he's just a cat that just watched the show. He's been watching the show since 2016, 17, 18 or whatever. And you know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta hold people down, support people, man. That's why I say, man, even amongst y'all, hold your community down. Marcus Hardison coming out with some literature real soon. You know what I'm saying? We should all be supporting Marcus Hardison and his literature, because he's a part of this family of ours, this little thing of ours. Every time we go live, we see Marcus up in here. You know what I mean? If Sadiqa got a damn chicken shack, we need to support Sadiqa Chicken Shack. It's part of the game. You know what I mean? So I want to shout out Cam, man. Cam, I don't know if you're watching right now, but Cam Just reached out. Hey, Voch, I take pictures. I can take pictures. Take pictures, Cam. And we came up with some cool shit. You know what I mean? So I'll be putting that on Instagram later on. Shouts out to my guy Cam. Salute. Let's get Big A on the phone. Big A should have been first. My bad, Big A. What's up, bro?
How you doing, Voch? How you doing today?
What's good, player?
Good. I'm good. I got 2 points, and I'm right out your head.
Mm-hmm.
All right, first point, in regards to this offensive line thing, I think you just cracked the code, and I think you cracked the code, and part of the problem is offense, and part of the issues that we've had in this organization. Mm-hmm. Because, mind you, I just did a little quick research. I'm in front of my computer, so might as well use the internet to my advantage. And you want to know? Do you know how long Jeff Stoutland's been the head O-line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Forever. I know they're not moving on from him. It don't matter who the new coach is. He ain't going nowhere. But tell me where, or tell me how long.
He has been there since 2013.
Yeah.
Since 2013, we have had 7 O-line coaches since 2013.
Wow. Fair enough.
I just want to let that sit real quick. We've had 7. They've had 1 in the last 12 some odd years. We haven't had an O-line coach go past 3 years in the last 7 years. And mind you, it's not like all those O-line coaches are bad per se, because some of them are good, like Bill Callahan and Frank Pollock was okay for a while. But I think that might be we're coasting off of just talent.
Sure.
Not talent and technique.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
But, that was just something I just tapped into a little bit. I felt like, that might be part of the reason why. You notice all the really good teams, they have coaches that they stay. When they get good coaches, they keep them. Yeah. And when they keep them for a long time, like the assistant coaches. Not the ones that go off for jobs, not just offense and defense coordinators. I'm talking about like when you get a good position coach, you do your best to keep them there for as long as possible. And I think that might point in, O-line coach is a very important part of offense.
Yeah. You ain't wrong. I mean, the one unit where they preach continuity, like all the time, they always talk about O-line continuity. Hey man, the coach is a part of that. O-line coach is a part of that. One coach that's been teaching these guys the same thing for years, and those guys kind of, developing and growing and practicing those same techniques under the same coach. Man, all that matters, man. Appreciate it, Big A. All that stuff matters, man. So, man, we just up in here. We up in here just new coach. We really just been leaning on the talent of the guys that we draft. And you can't be a team that leans on the draft and lean on young players, but you constantly got a revolving door at coach, or just at different coaching spots or whatever. You need to have some continuity in there, man. Got a few content creators here. Of course we got many fantastic content creators in the Cowboy community here. There's a flavor for everybody. If you're a Cowboy fan and you have a certain flavor, and I may not be for you, somebody else may not be for There's a Cowboy content creator for you. Shouts out to Big Time. Let's get 253 up in here. 253, what's up? Who this?
Hey, what's going on, Voch? I was in the chat one time and you couldn't pronounce my wife's name.
Why was I saying your wife's name? Why was I saying your wife's name?
Because that's the title that was in the chat as me and her together on our email.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
Listen to me. I've been watching the Cowboys for 56 years, man.
Yeah.
The first game I remember watching was the Super Bowl against the Colts.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. I like McCarthy for a while, but see, he got ignorant and wouldn't listen to nobody. But I think Schottenheimer's going to do better than that with the offensive line coaching. You made the point last year about Solari, and then they're going to have him take a picture with Duke like that's going to be all right. That wasn't all right.
Right.
But guess what? They did what they're supposed to do, and I believe the running game will be better. It's going to have to be better because who you going to double, Pickens or CD?
Neither.
So, neither one of them.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to ask you one question, though. This is what I have. If Shotty likes to, and Clayton Adams like to run a lot of 12 personnel,
okay,
where does that leave Schoonmaker?
As the second tight end, or at least he's going to be fighting for his life as the second tight end. Schoonmaker is going into a camp battle with Brevin, and Brevin on his heels, you know, and they're the same kind of guy. So if you in 12, I would imagine we're in 12 because we're trying to be a little more run heavy. If we're trying to be a little more run heavy and we in 12, then Schoonmaker's got to beat Brevin out. Schoonmaker's not he's not battling Jake, or he's not battling Stevens or Lipke or anything like that. So he's fan. Yeah, Brevin. So yeah, I mean, where does it leave Luke? If Luke lose the battle, it leave Luke on the sideline or in Jacksonville somewhere.
Hey man, that's exactly what I'm saying. Package him and Mozzie in a deal and send him to LA.
Right. Get back a
Harbaugh take him.
Get back an eighth. Appreciate you, boss man. Good call, man. Good call, brother. Hey man, good list show. Quick list stream. Let's read some supers, man. We ain't doing nothing now. Shouts out to my guy Cam, man. He's hard, bro. He's hard. I should have fixed my collar on now, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying? Fix my collar a little bit. It's floating. It's all good. My mistake. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'll look at them in a second. Let's go. Boom. OBS. Here we go. Shit. All right. Wait. Hey, supers. Myron? Chat, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all to pieces. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go work out. Hey, let's go. Let's get out of here. Hey, let's get out of here. Hey, look, I love y'all so much, man. Chat, y'all don't understand, man. Y'all don't understand, man. This is I am at a very lovely stride in life right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's all, you know, hard work and stuff. It's all, you know, it's all staying humble and grateful. You know what I'm saying? Staying focused and motivated. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You know, I don't think there's any room for me to like complain about nothing. You know? There's no room for me to complain about nothing. Like if something goes wrong, I be like, I got 10 toes, 10 fingers, you know what I mean? My lungs working. I'm healthy enough to work on my health. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always a positive out of this. You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't think about it because you just put your head down and work. You know what I mean? You just you just work at things and I'll see y'all when I get there. Like that's the mindset I be on sometimes. But if I ever catch myself complaining, I always stop myself. You know what I mean? Because I've made a pretty cool living, a cool little career out of showing up, hitting go live, and doing what I would have been doing over in the Wingstop section at Pizza Hut. Cleaning my grease trap, washing my dishes, you know what I'm saying, cooking my wings or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I was just over there talking Cowboys with other Cowboy fans. I've made a cool ass life talking Cowboys with Cowboy fans. I really can't complain about nothing. But I think it's important to even, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm grateful to be like, I get paid to talk Cowboys guy, but I was even grateful to be Pizza Hut guy. You know what I mean? I think that's important too. I was even grateful to be Pizza Hut guy. That's hard. Marcus Hardison got something for us. Let me see what Fancy Violin. Marcus Hardison says. Let me see. You tell me now you victory. That's what. Okay, for sure. Let me scroll up. Here we go. All right. Let me see what Marcus Hardison talking about. Marcus Hardison says at Voch Lombardi, because we ain't at the other place now, so we here. So when he tagged me, he talking to me. He be like at Voch Lombardi. Okay. Here we go. Y'all ready? Marcus Hardison says at Voch. In the hush of silence, I find my edge. What's unseen can never be anticipated. Shadows are not my hiding place. They're my workshop. Wait. Shadows are not my hiding place. They're my workshop where blueprints for brilliance are drawn. Hold up. Hey. In the hush of silence, I find my edge. What's unseen can never be anticipated. Shadows are not my hiding place. They are my workshop where blueprints for brilliance are drawn. Marcus Hardison, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look, hold this L, UNLV, Young Pimp, Young Goat, Young Lion. Love y'all to pieces, man. Yeah, for real. That's hard, bro. That's hard, brother Marcus. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That's hard right there. That's hard right there. I'm a freelance music producer and recording engineer. Send some stuff to my email, and I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. Let's see. Okay. Hunter Liquor should be tight end too. Voch, I'll be looking for you in Oxnard. Hey, I come in peace, but I will be there. When your mentor is Brian Broaddus, you can't lose. Look, I am very grateful. I am incredibly grateful to have Brian Broaddus as a mentor. Very grateful to have that. And I don't know. I mean, I've had mentors. Yeah. Like football and stuff. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Brian Broaddus, man. Shouts out to Brian Broaddus for sure. And hey, that's all I got for y'all, man. Love y'all two pieces. Y'all go find like a cowboy YouTuber to watch or something. And I'm about to go hit the park and get some sprints in. All right, just in case I gotta race some of y'all when I get to Oxnard. You know what I mean? Y'all be thinking it's a game because I played O-line. You know what I'm saying? But love y'all to pieces, man. Don't forget what I said, man. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski Peace Squeeze. Look, I feel you. You know what I mean? It's 400 and 500 of y'all there. I get leaving a like. I feel you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Okay? If you haven't, hit the subscribe button. Then hit the like. All right? Love y'all. Peace.